bud. How's it going? Do you want to go for a walk? Should we go for a walk? Good morning, everyone. So today we're doing a little bit of a day in the life. And pretty much every day I start out with a walk with Cool Whip. I like to do about like 3 miles or so in the morning. That's for her and for me, really. But today, my husband's here. That's Eric. And he is pulling an empty baby carriage because we are taking Jake, my almost 15-year-old dog, on this walk with us. And he's not going to be able to do all 3 miles, so it allows us to be able to bring him along. So we're on one of my favorite trails, going down to a spot in the river where we'll be able to swim the dogs, get a little exercise, and then start our day. And our day is going to be pretty fun today. So I'm planning, I have a little black lab puppy that I'm training. We're going to do some training, and then we're just going to do like some normal day stuff. So I'm going to show you what the life as a service dog handler, service dog trainer, and online educator looks like. So come along, let's do it. Oh, and also I should mention that, I never do vlogs, so please be patient with me as I figure this out. I'm doing my best.
So, like I said, I try to start each day with a walk. One thing that's really important to me is making sure my dogs get what they need to be successful. Cool Whip is a high energy breed, and my motto is always that I want to meet her needs so that she can meet mine. Taking her on a long walk or hike in the morning helps her to be able to chill out and settle when needed. It's also for me, because I function best when I have time every day out in nature, so I try to make it a priority. I generally use 10 to 30 foot leads out on my walks, depending on the location. This allows the dogs to stop and sniff and then catch up to me. I don't require them to heel, generally, unless someone is passing by and we need to move off trail or get out of their way. I try to go at low traffic times so that the walk is enjoyable for both me and them. Sniffing stuff is such an enriching activity for dogs. I've gotten comments in the past that my dog isn't well trained because she's allowed to do dog stuff when she's not officially on duty, but I truly believe that letting her do dog stuff is what has allowed her to be such a successful service dog, especially when she wasn't originally acquired for service dog work. She does her best with a decent amount of exercise and activity, even at 8 years old. I like this walk in particular because it's an out and back, and I'm able to swim the dogs on hot days so they stay nice and cool. Whip absolutely loves to swim, and so I try to get her to the river a few days a week to get a good swim in. Jake isn't much of a swimmer, but he likes to wade around and sniff stuff.
Good job, buddy. All right, Whip, bring your stick. We'll do a couple throws. Come on, bring your stick. That's a good stick I got you. Good girl, drop.
As we turn around to head home, Jake is getting a little tired and sore, so we pop him into the baby carriage. I picked this up off of Facebook Marketplace instead of buying a dog stroller, and it seems to be working out pretty well. It even fits a Primo pad that's sized for a large Roughlin kennel perfectly, which is great for Jake to be able to sit comfortably. I'll put a link to this wagon in the description in case you have an old man like me that you want to continue bringing on adventures. It's also really important that we stop along the way for snack breaks. Also, huge shout out to my husband Eric pushing an empty baby wagon for half of this trip like the amazing human that he is. He's also the one who spent countless hours building out my new basement training studio, so if y'all could show him some love in the comments, I'm sure he'd appreciate it. I would not be able to do what I do without him. He's the best. Okay, now it's time to head home and do breakfast.
Okay, so after morning walk, it's time for breakfast. And what I do for breakfast kind of depends, but usually I do some form of wet stuff because I need to add in their supplements and it makes it easier for them to do that. So I use a little bit of Honest Kitchen to make it so that I can put supplements in, and I don't use a ton. And then I might do training with the kibble, or I might do a scatter outside with it, or I might just give it to Jake, kind of depending on what I'm doing. Lots to get done today, so I do think I'll probably give it to them in a puzzle toy this morning while I'm getting ready. And with this meal, like their meal in the morning, I like to do a little bit of training no matter what. And the training that I'm working on right now with Cool Whip is for shut up. So, man, it's hard to do this and talk at the same time. So what I'll do for both of them, I'm gonna hide the antler. For Jake, it'll be hidden. It won't be difficult. And for Whip, I'm gonna hide it outside. She's gonna go find it, bring me the antler, and then she'll get her meal. So I'm gonna finish this up and then I'll show you that. So while I do that, the dogs are actually crated, and that's because I need to be able to hide the antlers. So for Jake, I use this dummy so that because his eyesight's kind of going a little bit, I don't want him to poke himself, anything like that. He doesn't typically do that, but just in case. And then for Whip, I'm going to use, let's see, I'm deciding between a little and a big antler. We'll use this medium-sized antler here. So we have to go to the kitchen and put a little scent on it so that they'll be able to find it. I keep it in the fridge. So first we're gonna go out and we're going to hide Whip's antler out here. Ooh, sunny, huh? What a beautiful day. So I kind of mix up where I hide it. The grass is kind of long, so that'll make it a little bit harder. I do like to walk back and forth back here. Let's see, let's hide it kind of here where she's gonna potentially go by it. So I don't know if you can see that. But I do find that she'll sometimes like track where I've walked. So I will go walk to the other side of my yard as well, just to make sure that she, thinks I could have put it anywhere. I have to do the same thing in my house. I'll walk to like a bunch of different rooms so that she doesn't know. Here. All right, we'll go back inside. Now I let Jake do his find first. We're really just doing a retrieve here. So we'll grab the other antler and I'll show it to him. Probably should have cleaned up my house for this, but I didn't, so it is what it is. So we'll just put that here and we'll let him out. Antler, fetch it up. Go, buddy, go. Where is it? Yay, good boy. Bring it here. Yes, good job, buddy. Very good. All right, there you go. Antler, let's go find it, girl. We gotta open it more for you. There you go. Free. Good girl, bring it here. Oh my gosh, good girl, yes. Awesome, okay, let's go. Then we go inside. She runs to her crate. And then, loud. Bring her food. There you go.
After breakfast, I give Jake the remainder of his meal in a Kong wobbler, and I feed Whip outside.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you the lazy person's slow feeder. You ready for this one? And that should keep her entertained for a while I start getting to work. Okay, so when I came down here, I realized I had written myself a note that said meds. So I want to talk about what's going on. Oh, that's such a good girl. Oh my goodness, what a good girl. That was really ridiculous and adorable. Good job, girly. Nice job. Okay, so what I was going to say, down, is that I came down here, I'd written myself a note that said, I'm not even going to say it because she's going to try and get him again. But basically, I moved down into this basement menu training studio area about like a week and a half ago, and we haven't finished it up, so I haven't been working down here full time. And what I'm having to retrain is my MEDS retrieve, because it used to be done upstairs in a totally separate room. So I wrote this note to myself that I needed to train this morning before I took them, so that we can generalize that skill to a new location. Because if you imagine that Whip has been going to the exact same location for a year and a half now, like about that, to get these particular things that I can't say, apparently. So we have to generalize, and we have to teach her, oh, there's a new location that same backpack is going to be, and it's going to be here. So I guess I should also explain how her medication retrieve works, and that's with a time of day alarm. So alarm goes off, she comes and finds me, and then I cue the medication retrieve. And that's really important because I'm not always going to be here. Sometimes I'm traveling, and I don't want to create frustration in my dog if the alarm goes off and she's not able to reach the medication. That could cause frustration. Say she's in the crate and we're driving, something like that. So the way I taught it is that she comes and finds me if she hears that alarm, and then I cue the retrieve. However, she isn't, like, if she's in the room with me, she's basically just gonna look at me. So I will periodically reinforce just the coming to me for the alarm, or just the alarm. So pairing the alarm with a positive reinforcer, like I have chicken chunks today. And then I'll cue that meds retrieve. So I'm gonna set that alarm, and we'll go ahead and practice that. So I'm gonna feed her for looking at me when the alarm went off, and then I'm gonna cue it with a little bit, and then I'm gonna cue Whip meds. She's gonna bring it to me. Yes! Good girl. And then I'm gonna give her some chicken chunk. Super. And then I'm gonna actually take my meds. Okay, so this whole filming of my day thing is taking significantly longer than I anticipated. So we gotta go. Come on, girl, let's go. We're going to go work with that little black lab puppy, little Maeve. So Whip, give it up. Good girl. Oh, see, my brain's not even working. She doesn't go in the back when she travels alone, but here we are. Let's do it.
So Maeve is a service dog prospect that Casey and I picked out for one of her clients a few weeks ago. She's a 12-week-old black lab, and she's an absolutely amazing puppy, which I think you'll see in this video. Today, I'm meeting up with Casey to help her out for the day, as she has a back injury that's flared up. Plus, it's just fun to train baby dogs and to work with other trainers. Casey and I often help each other out and also take our dogs hiking and swimming together. So we start off the session by having Maeve settle in the parking lot and observe. Then we go into a busier area. She's on a 10-foot lead because she doesn't know how to walk on a lead yet, so giving her space to explore reduces conflict. I have zero expectations that a 12-week-old puppy can walk at heel for any length of time. A longer lead is a great balance between control and exploration. I can switch her over to a shorter lead when I'm actively working on heeling or loose leash walking for a few minutes at a time, which I will show you a little bit later. In this training session, we cover a lot of bits of training, but we cover them in 30-second to 2-minute increments with lots of breaks in between. Now, because this video has a lot in it, I'm actually thinking I'm going to do a deep dive over on Patreon this month that goes into more detail about this training trip and why and how I do certain exercises. But here's a little taste of what we did today. Throughout this session, you'll notice a theme of reinforcing or capturing the behavior of turning away from a distraction and looking back to handler. We don't ask or cue looking at us, we just systematically reward it, and through doing that, we get a puppy that is able to see distractions as a cue to look at handler. This is called offered attention, and we are absolutely selecting for it. But notice we're not discouraging her from looking. We want her to look at the things in her environment and passively observe them. This is an important part of socializing a young puppy. I'm absolutely impressed with Maeve's ability to take it all in a very relaxed manner. Here, you'll see her observing little kids on an animated horse ride. I let her watch, but mark for turning back. You'll notice throughout the video that she gets the hang of this quickly and starts offering more check-ins more frequently. Casey has already put a lot of foundation skills on this puppy, but she hasn't started hand touches yet. Now, normally I might start this at home in a less distracting environment, but Maeve is rocking it, so I introduce a few hand touches, and when she investigates my hand, I mark and reward. I also do a tiny bit of loose leash walking where I switch her from the back clip harness to the collar and short leash and simply mark for staying next to me. I only do a lap or two of this and then move on. After another break, we do a little bit of luring into a few positions that will be useful when she's an adult. I'll lure her into a down and under, being sure to release her with the free cue, so she starts to learn that behavior has a beginning and an end. I also started luring her into the close position between my legs. This is useful for keeping a pup out of the way and can be great on public transit so that you can support the dog through the bumps in the road with your knees or a hand on the chest.
Amazing. I know I got a toy on my shirt.
We packed a lot into a short span, so now we're going to head back to the car and help Casey with one more task. Casey is sometimes using a rollator mobility aid, so we want to start getting Maeve used to the rollator. We start by having me follow behind Casey, then next to her while I mark and reward, then Casey holds the leash and I mark and reward, and then Casey works Maeve on her own. Slow progressions like this make for fast success. After that, it's time for Maeve to get a drink of water and get some rest in the crate. Casey and I decide that we'll head over to the river for a little romp with the dogs. It's a great way to decompress. On the way over, I spot a bear running across the road. It's not this bear in this video, but this is the bear I saw the next day. In the area I live, it's not uncommon for me to see a few bears a week. Fortunately, it's a nice cool day by the river, so we allow Maeve to rest from her adventure in the car and let our older dogs swim.
Take. Oni.
After a little while, I go grab Maeve and give her some decompression time by the water, and she even takes a dip and retrieves the stick. Then it starts to absolutely pour, so it's time for me to head home and get some actual work done. Oh, and Casey sent me this video of Maeve after she got home from the outing, and I had to share it with you. Now, a lot of my time right now is spent editing video, and I like to do that on my little under-desk treadmill. When I was a guide dog instructor, it was common for me to walk 6 to 10 miles a day. And I've found that sitting at the desk to edit just wasn't working for me. So I got this under-desk treadmill, and it's a game changer. Today I'm working on getting a new video up over on Patreon about why I'm choosing a male dog for my next service dog prospect. So if that topic interests you, you can check out that video right now by going to patreon.com/doggyu and joining at the $4 member level. And while I'm on the subject, big thank you to top fan member Becky Coley. Here's her and her dog Snickers. Aren't they so adorable? Every month, top fan members submit a video of their training so that they can get help troubleshooting any issues, or I give feedback on next steps so that they can progress as a team in their training. And hey, if you think Snickers is a cutie, be sure to head on down and boop that like button for me so that we can let them know. Alright, that's enough of watching me work. It's putting Cool Whip to sleep. It's time to stuff the food toys. So, as you'll know, if you watch my channel, my dogs get some type of stuffed food toy, typically once a day or so. Yes, even the old man. And to make that happen, I have to stuff them every 1 to 2 weeks. I personally use raw meat from Oma's Pride in my stuffed food toys and have been using it for more than a decade. My dogs absolutely love it. If that interests you, I'll put my affiliate code down below with a link so that you can get 30% off your first order. You can also stuff Topples and Kongs with other things like your dog's food and then something wet like plain yogurt, pumpkin, or peanut butter. Now, I'm a big multitasker, and this year I committed myself to a minimum of 1 hour a week of continuing education. So today, Ken Ramirez and Shade Weitzel were doing a live stream, so I got to stuff Kongs and listen to 2 amazing dog trainers speak about reinforcement cues. Such good stuff. Once I finished stuffing my toys, it was time to throw them in the freezer, and then get ready for my last activity of the night, scent work. On the way to class, I stopped at CVS to grab some nail polish remover, but they were totally out. Also, I didn't tape much of this outing because I realized that, shocker, I was running a bit late and I needed to get on the road.
All right, y'all, I am doing the last activity of the day. I'm going to scent work class, and Whip and I are really pretty new to scent work. We started a couple of months ago, and she's really loving it, and I'm enjoying it too. So when I go to a class, especially at a big facility like this, I try to go in first and bring all my stuff in and get my station basically all set up. And then I come back out, get my dog and come back in. That's mostly because in these larger facilities, there's always a lot of dogs with handlers that are maybe new, maybe dogs that aren't under the best control all the time. And I want to be able to focus totally on my dog and good behavior entering and exiting the building. So I get my stuff, I bring it in, then I come back out and I get her. And that lets me focus on my dog. So I'm going to do that now.
Okay, I'm not going to go too much into Whip's searches, but we did try a few new things today, including a room search where we had to clear the room and then move on to the next without the ability to go back if we missed a hide. While we did run out of time while searching for the 4th hide, she did accurately clear the first room and then find 2 more hides, which was awesome. Whip was a very good girly, as always, and really enjoys doing the sniffs. I will say that she is not the most patient waiter, though, and thinks all of the turns should be her turns. Can't fault a dog for a good work ethic, and since her impatient behavior doesn't carry over into her service work, I don't mind, and I just try to give her enough stuff to do between turns. So now that we've sniffed all the sniffs, it's time to head home.
All right, y'all, I made it home. It's 8:30 at night. You've been with me all the way from 6 a.m. until 8:30 at night, following along on my jam-packed day. I hope you enjoyed being here. I really enjoyed having you. If you like this video, check out this video up here. And yeah, I'm gonna go take a shower, watch some Olympics, and fall fast asleep. You all have an awesome day, happy training, and good night.